Hey, this is Tim, licensed loan officer. And on this video, we're going to talk about credit explained. Boost your credit today. Thank you so much for watching. And before we get into the video about credit, I want to let you know what this channel is about. This channel is all about helping first-time home buyers, buying investment property, having excellent credit, making more money, and all things financial related. If you like those type of topics, if you want to talk about budgeting, have some more money in your pocket, not live paycheck to paycheck, consider subscribing to this channel. All right, so let's talk about credit.
Yes.
Credit is very, very important. Everybody's checking credit, okay? And you know credit's important. Now, whether you have no credit or you have good credit or in between, this video is good for you. It's always good to understand some of the core concepts of credit. And it's important to maintain your credit because think about it. There's going to come a time where you need to buy something, whether a car or a house or just the convenience of buy now, pay later. And if you don't have good credit, you're going to pay more for that in the form of interest. And I don't want you to pay more. And if you pay too much more, I call that predatory lending, okay? And I don't want you to be a victim of predatory lending. So let's get into this video. I'm going to give you some tips and help you with your credit. Okay, so credit score is explained. Boost your credit today. Look at that, 800 credit. I love that. I want you to have 800 credit. So we got to just talk about how credit works, okay? If we don't understand how credit works, how can we have great credit? The first thing you have to remember is that it's payment history, okay? Payment history. That is 35%. So what that means, you need payment history. You need stuff on your credit that you pay. And the easiest way to get payment history is a credit card or a secure credit card. Credit cards are easy because think about it. Don't go out and get student loans. Don't go out and get a car loan. Don't, you know what I'm saying? That stuff could be hard to get payment history. But if you get a credit card or a secure card, all you want to do is use it a little bit, maybe $5, $10, and pay it off in full on the due date. Pay it off in full when you get your bill. And that's going to boost your payment history, okay? If you don't have payment history, lenders cannot see that you pay things on time and they can't give you credit and your credit can't go up. So the first thing, you got to get some payment history. Every single month, you got to use credit. There's no dollar amount. Charge $5, $10, charge $20 a dinner. And then when you wait and get your bill, set it up where it comes out of your account automatically, automatic bill pay. It comes out and then repeat the steps and keep doing that. You will have good credit if you use credit and pay it back. And also past delinquent. So you really don't want anything past due. That will kill your credit. Late payments will kill your credit. It's something like every late payment takes 7 or 8 payments to erase that. Think about that. 2 late payment, now you need like 16 on-time payments. That's over a year. So payment history. The next thing that's very important right here, that 30% right here. Can you see that okay? Yes, you can. The next thing that's very important, let's just zoom in on this for you real quick here. The next thing that's very important is credit uses or utilization. You don't want to use too much credit, okay? Now, there are different tiers. There's 10%. So if your credit limit, basically whatever your credit limit is, if you stay under 10% of that, then you're going to get a really good boost. Now, 30% is the standard. You don't want to go over 30%. If you go over 30%, it hurts your credit a little bit. And then 50%. Once your credit card is over 50%, so let me just give you an example. You have a credit card and your max limit, let's just say it's $1,000. You don't want to go over $500 because now you're using too much credit. If you go over 50% of your credit limit, your credit's going to go down. And some people have max out credit cards, and that's draining their credit. So if you have something that's max out, so let's say your credit limit is $1,000 and your balance is $950, stop using that credit card and just start paying it down and pay more than the minimum balance. If you pay the minimum, you're basically paying all interest, okay? So do not use too much credit and payment history. If you do those two things, you have a credit card, let's just say it's open for $1,000. If you stay under 10% would be $100. It's going to help you, okay? So remember, payment history, number one. Second, don't use too much credit. Then the third thing right here is your age of credit, okay? So you want to keep accounts open. Now, what happens is that you may get upset with a credit card company and not want to have anything to do with them. It's best to not use that card anymore, but don't close it. You don't want to close accounts because it goes towards your age of credit. So the longer you keep a card open, it's going to help your credit. But you notice that's only 15%. The bigger ones are payment history and not using too much credit. And then 15% is just the time. And then another thing down here is 10% is these are called credit inquiries. Credit inquiries mean every time your credit is run. Every time I run credit, someone says it's going to affect my credit. Yes, if I do a hard pull, it's going to affect your credit. But the good news, it has minimum impact. But you don't want to keep applying for credit. If you keep applying for credit, it looks like you need money. It's a bad sign. So you want to space out your credit inquiries. So if you apply for a credit card, you get approved, wait a few months before you do it again because that's 10% of your credit applying for credits. And the last one is credit mix. Credit mix is basically having like a loan with a credit card or a store card with a regular credit card. That's 10%. So these two on the bottom come with time, okay? So with time, you're going to have credit mix, and with time, you're going to have age of credit. But if you're looking to build your credit, you want to focus on creating that payment history. You want a good payment history because lenders look at your payment history, and if they see you have a good payment history, they think you're reliable. If they see you using too much credit, you're risky. If they see you're applying for a lot of credit, they might think you're risky. So just don't use too much credit and pay on time. And over time, you'll get a different credit mix. Over time, your credit will go up because of the time, okay? So that's how credit works. And it depends on where you are. If you already have credit cards, but they're maxed out, then your payment history will just be paying them down, getting them back down. If you have no credit, then you just need to focus on payment history. So that's why credit is tricky because everybody's situation is a little bit different. And if you like this stuff, you're getting a lot out of this, give me a thumb up, comment below, okay? Share if you like this. So let's get into the next one here. So let's talk about boosting your credit, okay? Let's talk about boosting your credit.
Yes.
The way you boost credit is pay your bills on time, every time, pay it in full, every single time. If you pay bills on time, you have good credit because you're paying them on time. It will happen, okay? And then you want to pay all debts. Be responsible because even debts that aren't on your credit report, if you don't pay them, they end up on your credit report when they file a collection. Because if you don't pay your light bill and you have a balance, it will end up a collection on your credit report, hurt your credit. So pay all bills on time, okay? And then you got to keep balances low. And I know this, 40% of Americans struggle with this. Do not keep using your credit card. Credit cards make it too easy to spend more than what you make. And what happens, you get in debt, you start paying more money in the form of interest, your credit starts going down, one thing leads to the next. Now, the opposite is true. If you just use a card, for food, gas, here and there, shirt, pay it off in full, pay it on time, your credit goes up. But if you're kind of shaky with employment and you're not making any money, not getting a lot of hours, using your credit card to subsidize your income, that's when you get into danger, okay? And you just need self-control. Sometimes you just gotta, tear up credit cards or freeze them for a little bit. We all have done that because credit cards are tricky. People struggle with it. They just make it too easy to swipe. I'm telling you, it's too easy to swipe. And then space out your credit requests. So don't keep applying for credit, okay? Space them out. If you had your credit ran, I want to give you some advice on that one. So if you're looking for a credit card, it's okay to apply for multiple credit cards because you're shopping for a credit card. But you don't want to apply for a credit card and then apply for an auto loan because now those are two different industries, two different credit inquiries, and that hurts your credit more. Same thing for a mortgage. If you have one lender run your credit, another lender run your credit, it's okay. You're shopping for a mortgage. Credit bureaus know that. Sometimes you're shopping for a credit card, you apply for a couple of credit cards. But if you do it all on the same day, do all this a couple of days apart. Also, you got to check your credit regularly. I love Credit Karma. It's free. It's useful. I like Chime too. Chime works out real well. Gives you a checking account and available credit card with that too. But check your credit report. Check for inaccurate. Check your name. Check your address. Make sure things are correct. If things are incorrect, because it can get you mixed up with someone with a similar name, then something could pop on there. So you want to check your credit regularly. So let's recap real quick. How do you boost your credit? Pay your bills on time, all your bills. Pay all your debts on time. Keep balances low. Space out your credit requests or credit inquiries, and then check your credit regularly, okay? Now, I want to get into the different grades of credit. Hopefully you can see this here. Oh, can you see this? Also, if you like this video, please give me a thumb up. Leave me a comment if you have questions. Okay, so 800 to 850 is called exceptional. Now, very few people have 800, but they're out there, okay? Now, basically, if you get an 800, and I want to say something else too. Credit Karma uses something called Advantage 3.0. Lenders or maybe a car place may use FICO. And then there are also 3 credit bureaus. There's Equifax, there's Experian, and there's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So you have 3 different credit stores. So it's good to know that because sometimes you think that your credit went down. It depends on what credit bureau they got it from. It also depends on if they're using FICO or Vantage Point 3.0. But don't freak out too much about your credit score. Focus on paying on time. Focus on not using too much credit. But if you get 800, basically you can get any loan as long as your income supports it. So if you get to 800, you can get anybody will give you credit. They love you and they'll give you good terms and they'll give you no interest for 30 days. They'll roll out the carpet for you at 800 because you have shown that you can be reliable. So they're dying to give you money, but you have to still be responsible. Now, 740 to 899, that's very good. So this is doing really good. And you pretty much can still get a loan from everybody. You still get a loan. And then this is where most average people fall in this 6.7 to 739. It's good, but it's not great. They're a little hesitant, and it might get a little bit higher interest rate, especially if you're closer to that 670. I think the average credit is 717. I think the average credit. And now let's get down to 580 and 699. This is called fair. So fair, you will get rejected, maybe a lot. You get higher interest rates and not good loan terms. So basically, when you get into that 580, 669, lenders are kind of skeptical because they're like, hey, this person not that reliable with that, 660. So they think you're a little more riskier. So how they justify the risk, they charge you higher interest. And what higher interest means, you're going to pay more, okay? So if somebody buys something for 500 with 800 credit and they get a lower interest rate and you have better credit, you're going to pay more interest, which means you're going to pay more for it. And that's why you want to have good credit, because you don't want to pay more for things. The goal is to pay as less as possible. The goal is to use financing to make your life easier and make your life more convenient. Buy now, pay later. Not buy now, pay more, And now let's get down to the last one, 300 to 579. This is very poor. And it's very tough to get credit at this point. You may get rejected or declined a lot, and you may get really high interest rates, and that's like predatory lending. So no matter where you are, you can fix your credit. You can get on the right track. It depends where you are, okay? And I hope this video helped you. And I hope I gave you some information about your credit. Now remember, credit may take time. It does take time, especially if you ran into a rough patch or you just may need more time to build your credit. But I guarantee you, if you're using credit wisely and paying it in full and not using too much credit, it has to go up, okay? So keep working at it. And believe me, once you have excellent credit, you maintain it, you get low interest rates, you get good terms for the rest of your life. Credit's not going anywhere. So wherever you are, fix your credit. And I'm not a credit expert, but I can help you with your credit. I can answer some basic questions or lead you in the right direction. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to this channel and give me a thumb up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video. Thanks.